Individual Responsibility by Megan Helpap and Justin Roberts.
People wonder what the greatest right we have is. What enables us to have freedom? It is not self-defense that enables freedom, and it is not self-expression or any other right. It is individual responsibility, and without this, rights are meaningless. Over the past 50 years, the purpose of American government has undergone a radical transformation. Even the founding fathers wouldn't recognize it. From the founding of our nation until just recently, Americans were viewed exceptional in a number of ways. One of those ways is independence. Overcoming this historic cultural resistance to accepting government aid has not been easy, but it has been achieved.
Ronald Reagan once said, "With freedom comes responsibility, a responsibility that can only be met by the individual."
We have created a perverse incentive against work. Instead of encouraging people to work, we are leading them to take advantage of the welfare system. It is not because they need it, but it is because it is so generous and it discourages people from working. There are 126 separate anti-poverty programs, and 72 of them provide benefits to individuals. In just 1 year, it costs $1 trillion in federal funding. Accepting government aid has been accepted as normal and desirable. Government-supplied benefits are available for all American citizens and has become the American way of life. Doing less to protect our ownership turns out really to be an effective way of creating poverty. And while we sit here, not paying attention to what is going on in our country, those in power are stripping everything away that we now take for granted, our freedoms.
Bono shared his thoughts on the subject. He said, "In dealing with poverty here and around the world, welfare and foreign aid are a band-aid. Free enterprise is a cure." In places like Peru and Zimbabwe, officials have made it so hard to obtain a business license. Business owners are operating without any legal proof that they own their business. Corrupt officials are then allowed to help themselves to anything that is not documented. The owners can never create wealth, so they continue to stay poor. They are locked out of the system, and they are excluded. Government policy treats people as physical beings only. The government has intervened to destroy character, and therefore people as human beings. Some might argue that the government has no business being concerned with what is proper character. But this argument is missing a key point. It is one thing for benefits to cause a person not to learn the rewards of hard work. It is something else when the benefits actively assist people in destroying their lives. As Hans Sennholz once said, government welfare programs contribute to the disintegration of poor families. They make women and children dependent on government, dependent for food, for clothing, for shelter, and reward fatherless families with extra benefits and welfare perks. There are a certain set of values that are essential in order for a nation to grow. They are the respect for private property, honest labor, and one's fellow man. These are the principles of freedom, and without these, we cannot be prosperous as people or as a nation. Without these values, we cannot be free. Limited government is the way to protect the poor from government, which by giving welfare only prolongs their stay in poverty. The emphasis on qualifying for welfare benefits destroys people's futures, lives, and dreams. This chart shows the steadiness of poverty rates, even with increases in welfare benefits and incentives, and is also adjusted to inflation. The giving away of welfare benefits only impedes the great things that the free market can do for people in poverty. People tend to say that the free market is greedy. This statement is inaccurate. The free market actually encourages hard work and gives people the freedom to succeed. It endorses the way out of poverty. Free market companies need workers as they expand. The free market creates opportunities for many people to succeed and also promotes individual responsibility. The free market gives everyone the same opportunity to create for themselves and work honestly for the lives that they desire. As the Nobel Prize-winning economist Milton Friedman once said, "The only way that has ever been discovered to have a lot of people cooperate together voluntarily is through the free market." And that's why it's so essential to preserving individual freedom.